All right, guys, how's it going? You know what? Let me get mic'd up over here. It is so cold here. Oh, come on. That should be working. But it's not. Oh, is it dark in here? Oh, by the way, hey Bjorn, what's up? You know what? This isn't even the problem that I had. I said that I needed networking help, and like I'm not able to SSH right now, and this is an unrelated networking problem. It's just not working. You know what I'm saying? I'm a networking genius. It turns out my Ethernet cable is not plugged in. All right, let's try this again. It should probably work now. It's just gonna take a second. Come on. Oh, there we go. Okay, now I can probably SSH. There we go. All right, now I can get started. Let me get the chat up. Here, let me switch to the browser real quick while I do that. I don't know if there's any like I don't know if there's any stream experts, but what's the best way to look at chat? Normally what I would do is that I would just have like Twitch open in a tab and then look at it there. But then I discovered this a few days ago, which is cool. So like the chat box extension that I have for so that you can see the chat, you guys on the stream, it's that the way that works is that you put like a URL into OBS, right? And then you add it as a browser source and that works. But if you actually, that URL, if you open that just in a regular browser, then you can just press like this and then the chat pops up. Oh, you can't see it because it's opening in another window. But it works and that's cool. I don't know if there's a better way though. Yep, the networking troubles in the real world are always going to start. Hardware connected, ping each other's IP addresses, stuff. Yeah. So unfortunately, well, I don't know if it's unfortunate or not, but the networking, that was just, I do actually have real networking problems that aren't related. Well, that doesn't have to do with like SSH. It's actually like a lot lower level stuff. Like I'm working on my operating system right now, and you left early yesterday, right? So you probably didn't see what happened. But we ended up deciding to like jump into the networking stuff. And so I tried to get like DHCP working, and I spent like 3 hours trying to get DHCP to work, and I could not get it to work. And then I gave up because the thing with the lower level things, like if you remember what init is. Oh, one other side question. Can you hear me? All right, I'm not using my mic right now. I'm just using like my laptop's mic, and I don't know if that's like garbage. But like, does it sound good? Yeah, the latency there was pretty good. Like, it seemed like you responded pretty quickly there. Normally there's like a lag, but well, there still was a lag, but it was only a couple seconds. So, okay. All right. So now let me. And then let me connect here. Tmux attached. All right, there we go. All right, now that's working. Glad to hear the audio is working out. Let me open OneNote real quick for my notes. Nice. From scratch. So wait, you have a 5-day weekend? How does that work? Geez, cybersecurity sounds pretty relaxed. Anyways, I was trying to get DHCP to work, and that wasn't. Oh, and the other thing, I didn't finish the thing, is that it's a really hard. Oh, ironically, the little thing that comes up is the DH client, but this actually uses DH client and not DHCP CD. Anyways, so right now I'm right now I'm in Raspberry Pi, but then I think I explained this yesterday, but if not, if you weren't here, then like I'll re-explain it. But anyways, so I'm CH rooted right now, so I'm not so I'm running it on the Raspberry Pi, and you can't. So a lot of the things, like if you remember, like that first like week I was streaming, and the whole other time that I've been working on this, I can CH root and it's fine because all the things that I'm doing are sort of the same whether I'm CH rooted or not. Because I started at the high level and started working down, and at a high level, CH rooting and then like versus like natively booting are very similar. But as I started to work my way down into the lower level stuff, you can't then you can't replicate that in a CH root. So the kernel stuff and things like that, like if I want to work with that, I actually have to boot into my OS. So the problems that I was having with like DHCP and like some other networking stuff, those are at like the init level. And if you remember, init's like the first program that's run, because it's like init is like at the boundary between like user space and kernel space. So init is one of the things that I actually can't do, honestly. Like if I do like init, it's gonna complain or something. Okay, if I say init 1, yeah, see, so it's giving me but it's saying it can't do this stuff because run/initctl because it's a CH thing. So I can't. So when I'm streaming this, and since I don't have like SSH, again, I can't even really get networking working. Is that since I don't have those things, I can't stream it. So I ended up giving up on DHCP because it was taking. I thought it would be easy, but it turned out to be hours of stuff, and then the stream couldn't watch it. Well, Friday is an open lab day. Oh, cool. Wait, where did my chat go? Okay. So Friday is an open lab day. So basically I can go in to study if I wanted, but it's optional. Sunday and Monday are weekend days anyways. Monday is also an open lab day, and so Tuesday. So 5-day weekend, that's awesome. Yeah, I don't have class tomorrow, but I have like a couple papers that I have to do for midterms. Next week is finals week for this class. Finals? You mean midterms? That's interesting. But anyways, next week is finals week for this class. It's 10 out of 10. Not relaxed. Okay. My bad. Yeah, CH still tends to have the network settings of the original. I was running into that problem when I wanted to run Arch Linux from a live USB permanent storage by CHing into the storage due to myself. Yeah, exactly. So networking, like, it will use the same networking stack as, in this case, Raspbian. What? Where do you go to school? Do you go to school in America? That's so interesting. Well, it must be near America because we're in a similar time zone. Because you said you had class yesterday at a time when a lot of people have class. Sorry, I just gotta grab my charger on my laptop. Ugh. I'm still here, just getting this stuff worked out. My charger's all tangled up, so I'm just untangling it. There we go. Go to community college in Idaho? Well, that's pretty cool that it's only 5 weeks long. Yeah, I have midterms this week. Alright, so anyways, what I decided to do is that I couldn't get DHCP to work. So what I decided to do instead was to try to get like SSH to work. And SSH isn't like just one thing. That's like a huge long, you know, it's a long process. But I figured the next thing I should try to do is, which I actually, this is the first time that I've like made a decision based on like the stream and not like myself. Because if I was doing this like just with myself, I'd have like very different priorities with what I wanted to do. But since I can't stream anything without SSH, that is now my highest priority. So now I'm trying to remember where I was yesterday. DHCP. I think it was probably something with this. All right. Can I make a new? Should I make a new scene? Is that how this works? Okay, new scene. I will call this doc. Okay. See, I'm so bad at this. I don't know the best way to do this. Oh, geez. That's not right. Okay, there has to be a better way to do this. There definitely is. I just don't know it. Alright, anyways. Oh, no, this is what I couldn't get working. Never mind. What was I? Then I was doing something else. No, not SSH. Because there's a bunch of stuff, and I'm trying to remember what I was doing. Oh, wget. That's what it was. I was trying to get wget working. Okay. Oh, you can't see it. Oh, gosh, that doesn't look right. Still not right. Transform fit to screen. Okay. Now this didn't work because, so in order to install anything, you need wget. But in order to get wget, you need make. And in order to get make, you need p11. And then to get p11, you need make, and that's a circular dependency, and that sucks. So the thing is, though, is that you don't need. So the important thing, though, is that in order to get make to work, right? In order to get make to work, you need p11 kit, right? p11 kit is required. But in order to get By the way, this website that I'm on is an awesome website. What this website is that it's a bunch of resources for people that are like, it's pretty much just like a repository full of source code knowledge. So you can see here, like, if I scroll all the way back up to the top, which will take a while, there's like all of these different things, and it has information on the dependencies on them, which is cool. So it's just a website full of like all the dependencies that you'll ever need to know. Now, where was I? I was at P11 kit. So in order to get make CA, you need P11 kit, but in order to get P11 kit, make is recommended. And the difference between recommended, optional, and required is that, as it sounds, required means like you need it, like it will not work at all in any way. It may not even compile or configure any of that if you don't have it. So that's what required is. What recommended is recommended means that certain things may not work without it. So you'll need so certain things may not work if you don't have it. I should explain it better. Certain parts of it may not work, and it's during the compilation process. So pretty much what this means is that if this is recommended, that means when P11 is actually compiling, it needs like libraries and tools, or if it can find libraries from makeCA and libtassin, it'll work better. And when it's compiling, maybe things will be more optimal, or it'll have features that it doesn't have. Specifically, what this is saying is that what P11 kit does, maybe I should explain this because I explained it last night, but what P11 kit does is that, I guess maybe you could read it, but it has to do with the cryptographic token interface standard modules. And pretty much what that has to do is that it has to do with registering. I learned about what this was yesterday too, so I'm trying to remember. It has to do with the way that you load information about certificates. And so, and what makes, maybe I should explain what things are in the opposite order. Okay. Anyways, I want to get wget, right? Where did wget go? So I want to get wget. What is wget? That lets me download things from the internet. So I don't have wget here, but if I gotta remember to switch things. But like, I don't know if you know this, but like, if there's a file that I want, right? Like, sometimes they'll have links to files just to show you how it works. Okay. So if there's something like DHCP, right? Let's say I need, so this is the, where is it? This here is like the URL for DHCP. So if I wanted to like download this, how do you download something from the terminal? So if I just do wget, then what it does is that it downloads it, and then you can see it here, like, there it is. So, I don't actually need that, so I'll get rid of it. So that's what wget is. But the thing is that if you're, circular dependencies suck. They do suck so much. The difference is if I select the package manager to recursively install all optional packages, I'm going to be sitting there for a few hours and potentially filling up my entire hard drive. Yeah. That is it. Yeah. I feel like package managers have a way of figuring that out, but if you had a bad package manager, that would definitely happen. Okay, anyways. So wget lets me download things from the internet. And if you're cybersecurity, you may know this. But so makeCA is recommended. Oh, I didn't ever start what optional is. Optional means that it's like that it may be kind of like an add-on for it. So it's not, so it doesn't make, pretty much what optional means from what I've read is that it doesn't make a difference during compile time, right? But so it doesn't make a difference when you're compiling it, but afterwards it may add stuff onto it. So the thing is that if something is optional, right, then you could be like, oh, I don't need this right now. I can go ahead and get this thing later, right? I can get this thing later, the optional thing later, and then it'll add on to it, right? What's something that recommended is that this makes a difference when you're actually compiling it. So if you get it later, it actually needs that when it's compiling. So if you do, when you download things from the internet, right, the internet has a lot of like encryption stuff and things like SSL. So from a lot of websites, you can't download things without SSL, pretty much, or some sort of like HTTPS thing. So that's why make CA here is something that they recommend that you get, right? Because again, recommended doesn't like mean, because again, there's different levels, right? Recommended doesn't mean like, oh, it's a nice thing, right? Recommended doesn't mean, oh, it's nice, maybe you should think about getting this because it's cool. Recommended is like, they actually recommend that you get this. Like, we don't recommend, like what recommended means is that we don't recommend you do this without it. And the reason why that they recommend that you get this is because otherwise you can't download a lot of stuff. Like I tried it, like at one point, I was actually like, fuck it, like I'm not gonna get make CA, and I just got wget, and so I think I might still be on here. I uninstalled it, but the reason why is because like I couldn't download anything. Like all the things that I was trying to download with it, it was like it would give me errors about couldn't authenticate and stuff. Like I was able to go to like somebody gave me like just a dummy website that didn't have any sort of encryption on it, like example.com, and then I was able to do wget on that. But most websites so that's why I have to get this, right? But in order to get this, and I was going to explain the circular dependency. So again, make CA, in order to get make CA, you need P11kit, right? But for P11kit, they recommend that you have this, right? Which means that they don't recommend that you install P11kit without having make CA. And I should explain. Okay, so wkit lets you download things from the internet. Okay? What makes CA is that this is the thing that will authenticate the keys, right? So it downloads, so that's the thing that actually downloads and processes the certificates. And it generates certificates. So what do you do about this circular dependency? And this is something that I learned a bunch because these circular dependencies arise a lot when I'm making the operating system, like especially like the lower level stuff like before this. So what you do is that since I don't need make CA to get P11kit, what you do, but they don't recommend that you do it without make CA. So what I do is that I get P11kit, right? Because I don't actually need make CA, right? And now with P11kit, I can go and I can make so then I can make CA with the P11kit. And then what I do is that I go back and I remake P11kit with the new make CA that I have. So then that way I can have like the recommended versions of make CA and P11kit. So it's a lot of this like going back and recompiling stuff. I mentioned that before. Like having to do with a lot, like doing that with GCC, you got to do that a bunch. Because everything needs GCC, right? But then GCC can also is a lot better when you have other things with it too. Because again, I said that the very first time that I made C, like that I made GCC from scratch, right? I had a very bad like assembler, and that was almost it. And like this GCC, like it didn't have glibc. It was the most useless C compiler you've ever seen. All right, so again, what I'm trying to do tonight is that hopefully I can get wget working. So what is this? Make CA. Okay, so let's try to get P11kit. I don't remember how far I got with this. I also don't remember if this is like the latest version of P11kit. I'm just making sure that this is like the latest version of the book. I think it is. Probably. Okay. All right, let's get to it. So again, I have to download this. So it's like, how the heck can I download this? If actually, okay, lib. I didn't even notice this. There's also another recommended thing that's libtassin. So they don't recommend that I make P11 kit without libtassin. What is this? It's a highly. Oh shit! I do remember this. Oh, I don't. Is it still here? So, oh, am I streaming the right thing right now? Dang it. Yeah, certificate authorities are a big deal in, I guess, in cybersecurity, I'd imagine. Yeah. Oh no, here's P11 kit, not libtassin. Right. So, again, since I don't have, but I don't have wget, right? So, oh, something else that's nice about this website that I'm on right now is that they'll also have like links to things. I mean, the links are kind of useful, but most of the times they might be like out of date or something, so it'd just be better to like go and get it yourself. So like if I do libtassin or something, I can go and I can get it here, and this will probably be the newest version. But it's like I think they also mirror the stuff there, so it's nice. Oh, what the? Oh, there it is. So it's like the newest version is 4. Oh, actually, you know what? I think that is the same. 4.14. 4.14. Oh, okay. Never mind. But anyways, but how can I get this if I can't download anything without wget, right? So this is sort of another circular dependency in a sense. So how do I get around this? Well, this is where it comes useful to the fact that I have another OS here. So I can just use the Raspberry Pi and go. So right now I'm in /sources on my operating system, and then that would be, but it's mounted here on this one, so I can just do this. See, and then I can jump out of there. Wait, where is it? There it is, libtassin. So it's tar.gz.1. Why .1? Does that mean I already have one of them? Hang on. Grep. Yes. Oh, I already got it. Wait, but see, look, I'm losing my mind here. Okay, but I never decompressed it. Libtassin. Okay. ZXVF. Okay, so here I am. All right. Again, I said this yesterday, but pretty much what this stream is right now, you are on the best stream on Twitch, because what this stream is right now is that you are watching a Googling stream. That's literally what this stream has turned into. So if I go ahead and I look up libtassin, they will hopefully have some documentation. Building the library, okay. What do you guys need? I have these things, which is nice. I don't have this, but it says optional. Ha! apt-get, yeah, right. Okay. So I'll have to go ahead and read some more options for, so I'm actually going to go and like look at some of the source and see what sorts of options are there as well. So to do that, I can do /configure less. Okay, what do I need? I don't think I need... Okay, well, I'm going to need to change the prefix because pretty much in... So, as you can see here, it says that the default prefix is /user/local. I don't know if you can see me highlighting. You can't see me highlighting. So, as you can see, the default prefix... Oh, here is /user/local, and that's actually like what it should be for most of the time for most people. If you use Linux, you'll know that you will often have like you have /user/local, and you'll have like /var/local, and you have like /local directories. Those are for user installed things, right? So if you go to like /bin, right, the only things, or if you look in like your /user, right, all the stuff that's in your /user directory are like system things, right? Only those are, I mean, like by system I mean for the operating system, right? So all the stuff in /user are things that are necessary for the operating system to work. And then what's in /user/local is all of like the user system. So things that you install, you know? So if you install like Chrome or a video game or something, that would all be in there because that's user stuff. So by default, as you can see here, things are in, or as you can see here, oh Jesus, what did I do? So as you can see, where'd it go? Oh. So here it is. Okay, so things are installed in /user/local by default. And because whenever you compile, like even if you do like make, if you write like C files or anything like that, which you probably have done if you're cybersecurity, all that stuff gets put in local. But right now I don't want things to be put in local, which is slightly like, wait, but aren't you building this? Like, shouldn't you put it in local? But right now I'm making things for the operating system. So I want to override the prefix. Instead of /user/local, I want to just put it in /user. Okay, I'm going to disable static linking. Okay. So here I'm changing it from like /user/local to just /user. And then I'm going to disable static linking. And why am I Oh, let me get the chat back up. The reason that that I'm disabling static linking is because I spent so much time getting all of my fancy dynamic libraries and dynamic linkers and all that stuff to work well. So it's like, if I got it, I'm going to use it. All right, no problems here. I really hope this works, guys. Okay. Here we go. Because I was like 0 for 2 yesterday because I couldn't get DHCP to work after a really long time, and then I tried to just like, again, I tried to install wget like straight up, and then that didn't work either. So, okay. Well, I have that. What the J flag does when you're doing makefiles is that it just makes it run multi-threaded, so that can sometimes make things faster. Okay, we're passing things. Yes! That's what I'm talking about. Woo! Alright, is that not what it's called? Make, is it one word? Okay, I guess that means it worked. Alright, and then according to the man page, there's also that there's also documentation, and I like documentation. I can't type right now. Oh, that's something I didn't consider. Okay, when I was asking you if the mic was fine before, I was just talking. Does it sound super obnoxious, though, with the keyboard? It might sound really obnoxious with the keyboard. So just to explain some of those options again. So again, the disable static thing, that prevents the installation of the static versions of these libraries. Also another reason is that when I say disable static, that it doesn't just disable static linking like inside of like the binary itself, but also the idea when you're in voice chat with other people. Okay, wait, not keyboard's good. If we're watching a stream, we're probably watching on a computer and have our own keyboard and here on keyboard. I mean, it's like I have my mic right here. It's like it's not like it's a big deal. You know what? I'll just do it. The only thing that I don't like, but if I wear them around my neck, it's fine. All right, it probably sounds better now. Anyways, so when I said disable static, wherever it is, okay, so I'm not just disabling like the libtassin to be statically linked. Also, the idea is that libtassin, it's installing libraries, right? So I'm talking about the libraries itself. So I don't want the libraries that libtassin installs to be statically linked libraries, which, do you know the difference between static and dynamic linking? If not, it's super easy to explain. Much clearer voice quality. I didn't notice that stuff. Okay. So anyways, so it just disables static link. Okay, you can't quite remember the difference? All right, whenever I code live, it always goes very badly. But I'll do it anyways. Okay, so let's say I have a, whatever. So let's say I have this file called header.h. And what's in here is that it's, not gonna say int main, but maybe like int function, right? And what this function does is that it's going to print f. Hey, this isn't gonna work, is it? Okay. So that's what this does. I'm like embarrassed if I can't do it, because like I've been doing like dynamic linking stuff for a while now. Like for like when I'm working, like I do a lot. Like I have to do this kind of stuff a lot. But then like the difficult part right now isn't like getting it to work. I'm trying to come up with like a minimum working example. You know, it's like trying to distill it down. So I think that's like the bare minimum it can go. I don't know if it's gonna be mad at me for not including like a standard io.h. But anyway, so now if I have vim body.c, right? What I can do is that I can do like so if I say int main, oh man, this isn't gonna work. And then I say printf, I'm in the body, and then I want to do like what did I call it? I think I called it function, right? And then return 0. Oh, I didn't return anything from the other one, right? All right. So now what will happen is that if I do like so if I do gcc body.c body, right? It's gonna say that it didn't work, right? Here you can see that last line. Oh, okay. Ooh, I could go really in depth with this. I'm trying to decide how in depth I want to go. Okay, you know what? I'm actually gonna show something slightly different right now, but I'm gonna get back to it. So let's just say I have some code that like just doesn't make any sense, right? So if I have like what's code that doesn't make any sense? Print f ABC is equal to, I don't know. This doesn't make any sense. Isn't that weird? I actually like can't think of code off the top of my head that like doesn't compile. But anyways, so if I do this, okay, you'll see that it's an error, right? It says here error, and then I'm trying to remember how to get it to be verbose. Can I just do V? No, that's not how it works. Hang on one sec. All right, I'll be right back in like 10 seconds. Somebody just. All right, sorry about that. Just grab a bite to eat. Face desk, I'm an idiot. I was just trying to configure a file from the external interface instead of the internal one. Ah. Okay, I don't remember how to get GCC to be like verbose, but anyways, GCC isn't actually one program. It's actually a bunch of programs combined. And so what this error is here is that if I could get it to be more verbose, it would say that it's a compile error, right? Because obviously this doesn't make any sense, right? So since this doesn't make any sense, right, it's a compiler error, as you would guess, right? That's a compiler error. That makes sense. Hopefully you get that that's a compiler error because, you know, that doesn't make any sense. But now look at this, right? Here, you can actually see, well, maybe you can't because it's not verbose enough, but this actually compiles just fine. This program, like, let me clear it and, right? This program actually compiles fine, right? The error is actually here. It says LD, right? So it's not GCC, which is the compiler. It's this other program called LD, right? And LD had an error. And what is LD? LD is the linker function. So there's different steps when you're making a program, and there's a bunch of them, but two of those steps are the compiler, right, which sort of takes the source code and converts it into assembly, right? And then there's the linker, which goes and tries to find functions, right? That's what the linker does. Because if you have functions stored in different files, the linker goes and will like find that file. So again, undefined reference to function. But so that's the interesting thing, right? Is that it compiles fine. It just doesn't link. So how would I fix this? I could do include here, and then what did I call it? Okay, so now if I do it again, it works fine. Well, okay, there's warnings here, but this is just because I didn't. I mean, I should probably be a good programmer, right? And I should probably go to vim header.h and then include, right? And now I can go ahead and do ./body, and it works fine. And then how does static linking work? Now, static linking actually works in a very dumb way. So you can see here that I have this. Man, this is actually like a good, maybe I could put this on YouTube. Well, there's probably a million other explanations out there, but you see here that I have this thing starting with a hashtag. And this is called like a preprocessor thing. So you might see this a bunch when you're looking at C or C++ files. And the thing to actually know is that all of these, anything that starts with a hash in C is not at all interpreted by the compiler. The compiler doesn't see any of this stuff. It's called the preprocessor because all of the stuff is done before all of the stuff is done before the C compiler even looks at it. And what this does is that it copies and pastes, right? So what this does is that it looks, so if I'm looking at the body here, what the hashtag does is that it takes this file header.h and it copies and pastes it into here. Right? So literally right where it says hashtag include, it takes that and where it says hashtag include, it just replaces that with the text of it. And I can prove this to you. I can prove this to you by if I do GCC and I think just E. I think E will only do the preprocessor stuff, which means that the compiler isn't even looking at this. If I do GCC E body.c, this is what, actually, okay. So you see where I said hashtag include? Look at this. Literally right there, right? Right where I put it. It's there. Now you'll see all this other stuff on top of it, and what's that about? Because if you remember, I also did hashtag include stdio.h here as well. So what this does is that in the file header.h, it takes this file stdio.h, pastes the whole thing in this file, and then in the body, it goes and it pastes it again in here. But again, literally, there's no logic that goes on in this part, right? Like when it's doing this, it's not checking the files. Like it's not doing like looping or like any sorts of like structures like that. It's literally just copying and pasting. So the first thing that it does when you run GCC is that it just does this copying and pasting, and then it right, and then it looks at it. So what static linking is. Static linking means copying and paste. So to remember the difference between static and dynamic linking, when somebody says static linking, that just means copy and paste. Because let's say, because again, like in stdio.h, there's things like printf and like other things like file declarations and I think some like memory stuff, right? So the idea is that if you want to use a function called printf in your C program, right? You need to define printf. So what that does is that when you do include stdio.h, you're literally just taking that whole file, which includes, somewhere in that file it says, well, I guess it might be void, or so void printf, and then it defines how that function works. You're just copying and pasting that at the top of your program, and then you're calling it. So that's what static linking is. What dynamic linking is that, so as you can imagine, there's some problems with static linking. One problem that you may think of just off the top of your head is that static linking makes files big, right? Like, so these files can be big because if I go here and I include stdio.h, that's pasting all of this stuff in here, and it's compiling all of it. And you can probably do like compiler optimizations, and it might help reverse some of that. But all of the functions that you have, right, even if you're using one function in, let's say, like multiple different places on your computer, when you're static linking, all those definitions for everything have to be, has to be copied into each file. So it makes stuff big. It's also not good in terms of like modularity. So I recognize, what do using statements do? Or is that out of the scope for the topic of discussion? What do you using? Never mind, you got it. Is that out of the? I don't know what you mean by a statement. And then when you say you got it, you mean you got the question you just asked, or you got the linking thing? Oh, hey, butt cheeks, how's it going? Yeah. So that's one of the advantages, right? One of the advantages, you're totally right. Um, is that one of the advantages of static linking is that it's portable, right? Because it's all there. Because when you do the include thing, again, you're just copying and pasting. So all the code that you need, right? All the functions, all that stuff, it's baked in. But one of the disadvantages is like modularity, right? I already mentioned file size, but another one is modularity because if let's say you have a function, right? And it's statically linked in a bunch of your programs because a bunch of your programs need them. And then maybe you find a bug or something, or you want to add a feature to this, if you want to add a feature to this function, well, what do you have to do? Well, now you're going to have to go and you're going to have to, you're going to have to go in every single one of your programs and recompile them because they were compiled with the wrong thing. So a way around this is dynamic linking. And what dynamic linking is in the most basic sense is that what dynamic linking does is that instead of having to put your function in each one of the programs that needs it, you can compile your function separately, right? So you can compile just the function that you want and nothing else, and you can store that function somewhere. And then when your program needs that function, you can just write it in your code for your program to get that function. So what that does is that makes that overall makes things smaller, right? Because if you use one function in tons of places, you only need one copy of it, and everything can just use that copy of it. Again, it's also good for modularity because then you can just, like, let's say there's an upgrade or something like that, or you want to change something, or there's a bug, you can just change that one file, and then everything that else that uses it will work. We'll use that new one. I didn't know that, butt cheeks, but that's very cool. So static linking is done in Windows, and that's why the programs are so big and easy to install. But then you also have all that DLL stuff. You know what? I don't believe you, butt cheeks, because I've had so many problems having those like DLL not found problems, and yeah. But that's true. DLL, that stands for, I actually don't know what it stands, but I'm assuming it stands for Dynamic Link Library or something, Dynamic Linker Library. But so what a DLL file is that a DLL is probably a bunch of functions. So you can think of a DLL file as just being tons and tons of functions combined, or maybe just like a couple of functions, or actually I don't know how big the functions are, but a DLL is one of these things. But instead of statically linking them, you dynamically link them. A DLL and .so are basically the same thing. Okay. So anyways, when I'm here and I installed, so when I installed libtassin, I didn't want to install the statically linked versions of it because what that would mean is that in order for programs to use it, they would have to copy and paste all of that, source from the install thing into it. And that makes it a lot less modular and makes things bigger. So instead, I installed the dynamically linked versions. So that's how you go about making something like that. All right. Now libtassin installed successfully, which is awesome. Now, what does libtassin actually do? What does it install? So this is something that I was looking up. I don't totally get it, but there's these things called abstract syntax notation 1, and what that is that it's a form of networking. And oh, hang on one second. Hey, what's up? Hello?
So,
Nothing. I'm streaming right now.
who are you streaming to? It's like you spend
People.
more hours streaming than you do talking to other people.
Hey, that's my dinner.
Well, if you're streaming, you're spending more time eating, or you're spending more time talking.
What?
You're spending more time talking to other people.
I know. I haven't.
I have to tether you back to reality.
I know. The sub's been sitting here for a while and I haven't touched it yet.
Yeah, so why don't I just eat it then? Because it looks like you're
Well,
not
I'm gonna eat it soon.
Will you?
Yeah. How's work?
It was good.
What'd you do?
I'm actually kind of excited that I came up with this idea for doing something a little bit more efficiently. And there's a big drug company that may be using it for one of their processes.
Well, don't say the name of the company because the whole internet's listening right now.
I know. Actually, but you didn't answer the question of who you're streaming to.
I'm streaming right now to Urine and Butt Cheeks.
And who are they? Aside from
some people on Twitch.
On.
What?
You said butt cheeks, so you're just
from
the people that you're sitting on.
Yeah. So Viren, he goes to community college in Idaho and he does cybersecurity.
So what is this for then? This
What?
isn't for school then, is it?
This is for school.
So why do you stream it to other people?
Because I'm doing it anyways, right?
I'm asking you though, not just because you feel like it, obviously.
No, it kind of is. Because I'm working on this all the time, sub. And then it's also, it's not...
I don't get it.
What?
You're just working on this, so you just feel like you're going to stream it to random people while you do it?
Yeah.
There's got to be a better reason than that. Come on.
That's sort of...
But really, though, what's the real reason?
The actual reason is that normally when I work and I'm coding, I'll go, I'll be on Twitch and I'll have, like, a streamer up, and a lot of the times I'll have, like, a streamer that's doing, like, coding. So, and then I'll just have them, like, in the background or whatever while I'm working. And then I was thinking one day that what I'm doing is kind of cool. And then I was like, man, I could probably just do that. So then I decided to do that.
Do you talk to people when you do this?
Yeah, a bunch.
And they help you? Or you just make random conversation with these people?
No, it's actually really great. I was really surprised that, like, when I started streaming, because tons of the people that come into my stream are, like, super knowledgeable. Like, when I was planning on doing the stream, I was just planning on, like, working and then trying to, like, teach people stuff and telling them how things work. But then a lot of it has turned out to be the opposite. Like, I have some, like, super qualified people.
Cool. All right, I'll play a song for you. I'm going to Google Home. Okay, Google. Play Daphne Blue by the band Camino.
Oh, and then Ludicrous Devil just joined. All right. Thanks for stopping by, Louis. All right, I'm back. Yeah, that's my brother. Oh yeah, Ludicrous Devil. Thanks so much for joining the channel. I don't remember seeing you here before, but thanks so much. Do you have any programming experience, or have you ever used, like, Linux before? I mean, I've been listening about how linkers work for a while. Oh, you've been lurking. All right. Oh, this is actually pretty good. Oh, Linux test that. I've never heard of that. Okay. So anyway, we got libtassin working. Oh, I was explaining what libtassin does. So what libtassin does is that it has something called, like, ASN, right? So what ASN is that it's the abstract syntax notation, and so I'm actually gonna just, you know what, I looked this up yesterday. I'm not gonna pretend that I know it. Again, what this stream is that what I'm trying to do with this stream, and I guess Devil, since you're here, is that, like, what I'm hoping this is that it's like is that I'm hoping to, like, be able to teach you guys stuff and have you guys, like, learn things, and then that's really cool. You know, because I love it when people ask me questions. Like, ask me any, like, not even having to do with this, but just, like, anything with computers or Linux. Like, oh, how do I do this in, like, like, some random thing that I'm not talking about right now? Or, like, actually, fun fact,
I'm doing this like software engineering stuff right now. That's not actually like what I do with most of my time. Actually, like my day job is that I study astrophysics. So if you want to ask me about the universe or how black holes work or how stars explode, like that would also be really cool to talk about. But I'm hoping to do that with the stream. But also I'm hoping that you guys, because I've been blown away by how brilliant like my chat is. So I'm hoping to also learn tons of stuff from you guys. And then I'm also hoping to just learn things together with you. So this is what we're doing right now. Right now, we did a lot of learning together yesterday as well. There was a lot of Wikipedia and ArchWiki stuff. All right, so what is this? Abstract Syntax Notation 1 is a standard interface description language for defining data structures that can be serialized and deserialized in a cross-platform way. It is okay. For defining data structures that can be serialized and deserialized. So in this context, what do they mean? Into a format. So is this talking about like packets or something, like the encapsulation of packets, like the data structure of networking packets? Protocols developers define data structures in ASN1 modules, which are generally a section. Hey Google, set the volume to 5%. Okay, is there like an example of what this looks like? Oh, I see. So it is like a way of just sort of encapsulating like networking information. Right, and then DER, I didn't say this, but DER is just the opposite of it. So it can take stuff like this and then decode it back into, this sort of thing. All right. So that's what that does. Now we learned something. So what it does is that it installs the ASN1 coding. So I just installed the encoder. I installed DER, which is the decoder. I installed the syntax, and I installed the abstract syntax tree generator as well. All right. So actually, let's jump back to here. So now we have this. And for people that weren't here earlier, I'm going down the dependency tree right now and just installing all these like circular dependencies and trying to work that stuff out. So now I'm going to be making P11 kit. And the end goal of this is to get wget. Well, actually, the end goal of installing this is, so this is interesting. There's some circular dependencies here because you can see that a dependency of P11 kit is make CA. And then one of the dependencies of make CA is P11 kit. So the goal of us making P11 kit is to be able to make CA. And then the goal of us making make CA is to be able to make P11 kit. I'll explain this again because I don't think anybody was here when I explained it earlier. But this is an awesome website. And what this website does is that if you just jump all the way back up here, is that what this website is that it's just a bunch of different it's a repository of knowledge about different tools. So you can see here like things in different categories like security things, file system programs. So it's a repository of programs. And then what this website does is that it catalogs all the dependencies for the programs. So since I'm interested in doing something like make CA, right? It has a handy dandy thing that has all of the dependencies. Now, again, the end goal is to get wget. And there's different sorts of dependencies, right? There's three kinds of dependencies. There's required dependencies, recommended dependencies, and optional dependencies. What a required dependency is, like something like P11 kit for make CA, it means that like this will not work without it at all. It will either be like a compile time error, or like a configure error, or like things will go so badly and it will not work without this. All right. And then you have recommended things. And what recommended is, this isn't like sort of, oh, like it's nice if you have it or don't. It's like, it's by recommended, they mean like they don't recommend that you even try to install this without having it. Like, for example, I wanted to get wget working, and what makes CA is, I'll explain in a second, but it has to do with like the certificates for encryption and like HTTPS. And I was like, I don't care about this. I'll just get wget, even though it says like we don't recommend that you, even though the book says we don't recommend that you install wget without it. I was like, I'll just install it anyways, and nothing worked because pretty much every single website has HTTPS. So any place that I tried to get wget from wouldn't work. Another important thing about recommended dependencies is that a lot of the times they're compile time required. So it's not like, and that's what separates recommended from optional, is that they also say like optional doesn't mean like, oh, it's totally optional. Like optional means they also recommended. But with most of the optional things, you could install it before or after you install the main thing. While for something that's recommended, it's like, oh, you're going to need this at compiler. So it's not like I can install wget and then try to install like makeCA, because that would have libraries and things like that that wouldn't get installed with wget. So so pretty much so those are the three things. So required means it just won't compile without it. Recommended means you can technically install it without something that's recommended, but the behavior will be a lot different than what you would expect it to be. And also, it's like a compile time dependency. So you're going to need that when you're actually compiling the program. It's impossible to like have support for it without compiling it. And then you have optional. And optional things are like, you can sort of install it whenever you want, Like, for example, a lot of programs, right? They might have like an option, right? So you run the program, and while you're running the program, you might say like, like program something feature, right? And what this will do is that, so a lot of things like this would be like an optional thing. And what these features might do is that if you do like tick feature and you run the program, is that the program will just look for that at runtime. So that's what this says, is that, so that's what these sorts of things do. So which means that you can install something optional afterwards, and then it'll work just fine. Anyways, so I want to get wget, but in order to get wget, I need makeCA. And in order to make makeCA, I need p11kit. And in order to make p11kit, I need libtassin and makeCA. So this is a circular dependency. So it's like, how do I fix this? Because I need makeCA to make p11kit, and I need p11kit to make makeCA. So the answer to that is that, thankfully, p11kit is a required dependency for makeCA. So you can't even install it at all without p11kit, right? But makeCA is just a recommended dependency for p11, which means like they don't recommend that you try to install p11kit without makeCA, but we don't have a choice here. So what do I do in this situation? So what I can do is that first I can go ahead and make p11kit. And then with p11kit, I can go ahead and make makeCA. And then once I have makeCA, now I can go and remake p11kit, because now I have makeCA. And this sort of thing happens all the time when you're making your own operating system from scratch. All the time. Like I've had to do this. Like for GCC, I've had to do that like 5 times. But this pattern of always making something, right? Of having these circular what happens all the time when you make an operating system from scratch is circular dependencies. And a very common way to get around circular dependencies is to make a very weak version of something, right? And to use that weak version to make something else, and then to use those, so again, it's like a tool, right? It's like, like how cavemen, they had rocks, right? But it's like you can make better tools. You use worse tools to make better tools, pretty much. So you start with something bad, like a really bad GCC, and then you use the bad GCC. Again, consider the very first GCC as a bad tool, but you use this bad GCC to go and make some other sorts of tools, right? That are different, and then you can use your original bad tool along with these other tools that you made from your bad tool, and use all these tools together to remake that first tool but better, and then remake those other tools too. Now that you have this better initial tool, so that's what I'm doing here. So I just installed libtassin, so now I can go ahead and make p11kit. But again, I'm gonna have to make p11kit twice, right? Run once without this recommended dependency, and then one's with it. So I'll call this p11 pass 1, right? Because this is just our first pass of doing it. So I already I did make install, right, for libtassin. I hope I'm not like out of my mind. Anyways, so so now I got to go ahead and install p11 kit. So I'm gonna do that. So first I'm gonna extract it, right? So zxvf p11. Okay. Now what the heck is p11 kit? That is what we are going to. Oh, dang it! I wasn't showing my screen. Sorry about that. Okay. So Vuren, what is the Linux test out cert? What is that for? Okay. By the way, if my chewing is like, if you can notice the chewing in any way whatsoever, let me know, and I'll just mute it when I take a bite. All right. So how do we do this? Like, what the heck even is P11 kit? So what we can do is Google it. Let's Google P11 kit. I found their GitHub page, documentation. All right. Man pages. Okay, there's nothing useful here. So let's do yeah. So let's do /. Oh, there is something useful here. Prepare the dist. Okay. It says I have to run this command first, which I haven't heard of. Well, I know what set is, but I don't know why I have to do this. Okay. But it's saying I have to delete this, so. Test out is kind of like Udemy or whatever, so their cert is just a proof that, yeah, I went through their Linux course and can do awesome. Well, more official than Udemy anyhow. Oh, cool, cool. So that seems like a great thing to have. All right, and now it wants me to edit. What? First they want me to set it, then they want me to edit it. What they want me to do is just /. Oh, I have to change this though. Because this is instructions for like, I don't think this is FHS compliant. So I'm going to change some of these paths. And okay, pretty much I'm just going to go through some of the source code of P11 kit right now and edit it to be, because again, this is my operating system. So I made some decisions while designing it about how I sort of want it to work. So I'm going to go ahead and make those edits here. So modifications. Wait, user /libexec/make ca copy. See, oh my gosh, if I messed that up, okay, copy trust. modifications. Actually, this one. I'm so crazy. Okay. All right. What sort of options do we got here? So I explained this earlier. If somebody wasn't here earlier when I explained this, but I'll just say so. The default prefix, that you see here /user/local. I want to change this to just be /user. And if somebody wants to know why that is, I can explain it. Like I'd actually enjoy explaining. It's not like I'm saying, oh, if you don't know, ask me to explain. I'll explain. Like I don't want to, but if I have to, it's like I do want to, but I don't know if you guys have already heard it. So, oh, okay. So there's that setting. There's the sysconf directory that I'm going to change. I tried doing this yesterday, so I already know what some of these things are. Yeah, okay. That's what, okay, so then the trespass. Actually, whoa. Wait, what is this last thing? Without systemd? I don't think I need to specify that because I don't have systemd installed. If it doesn't work, I'll try that. Somebody remind me. Okay, configure prefix is equal to /user sysconfter is equal to /etc with trust as equals /etc /pki /anchors. All right, this is the first step. Let's hope we don't get errors here. All right, does this look good? Do we want this? Okay, so we got libtas in there. Yeah, see, okay, so it disables systemd, which is what we wanted. Okay, I think that's what we want, right? I mean, whoa. All right, guys, fingers crossed. I don't think this worked last night, so. Think about if CompTIA had a course that went along with their certs. Yeah, that's sort of what I was imagining. Hey, J-Man, how's it going? You know, we got another cyber person here, right? You guys are both, you and Viren both do cyber. Were you here all night last night? Jay, I forget. But if you remember, yesterday I was trying to get at first I was trying to get DHCP to work and that didn't work, and then I wanted to try SSH, but then there's tons of dependencies for that. So I said, okay, never mind. SSH is too hard. So then I wanted to get wget so I could at least start installing stuff. And then wget had all these dependencies that didn't work. And one of the dependencies for wget is this thing right here called called P11 kit, which has to do with cryptographic stuff. So that's what I'm doing right now. So it's we're on the path. Right now we're on the path to wget, which is, I should explain what wget is. wget lets you download files from the internet, pretty much. So that's pretty simple. So we're on the path to wget, which is on the path to SSH, which is on the path to you guys being able to see what I'm doing natively. You know, every time you said dependency, you winced. Yeah, you should wince. You're building from source. Dude, what is the title of the stream? Actually, I think I changed it to something about networking. But anyways, this stream is from scratch. Everything. You know what's interesting? On this whole operating system, oh, by the way, it finished, yes, it compiled. That's awesome. But anyways, you see here, you see this whole operating system that you're looking at? Every single file, there's not a single precompiled file, not a single binary or anything like that in this whole operating system. So it's all from source. Anyways, this worked, which is really, really cool. All right. I'd love to make an entire us from the scratch MIT programming language. Do it. That'd be pretty crazy. Okay. So now all right. So now it compiled fine, but just because it didn't give any compiling errors doesn't mean it actually compiled correctly. What I just did make check, this will tell me if it actually compiled correctly. Like pretty much what if there's like when I do make and if there's an error there, those are sort of like obvious errors, like big, like like a big error. But your program can technically compile, but there's actually more subtle errors. So what this check thing does is that it checks for those like subtle errors. Again, if you guys can hear or notice me chewing at all, let me know and I can just like I hate it, the sound of chewing. So if you can notice that, I'll just like go like so that's no inconvenience to me. Are you gonna make your own package manager? Okay, so then I will. Yeah, I'll try to not make it so disgusting. Are you going to make your own package manager? That's an excellent question. That would be. Depends. Like, I don't. Like, it depends on almost how you define package manager. Any sort of a package manager is so far down the line that I'm not thinking about it right now. But farther down the line, when I do get to that point, I have sort of pondered that a bit. And what I think about that, like, is that there's different sorts of package managers. Oh, motherfucker. I saw some fails. Anyways, fail. Oh, god damn it. Token. Oh, no. No. In my stream title, I asked if anybody knew things about networking, right? Does anybody know what the heck this is talking about? Test enable. Well, if test enable failed, I'm imagining enabling this is a big deal, right? So if I can't enable this correctly, then this is probably just not working at all. Assertion failed. Modules 3. All right, let's turn this into a Googling stream. What is this thing called? P11 kit. P11 kit test. I don't even test modules 6 slash modules slash module slash test enable fail. Is this where I just was? Okay, so they have instructions here, which is the same options that I used. Did they do anything different? They didn't do anything different. Now, what's this? Oh, wait a second. Oh, this is older, right? 9 comes before 16. Because there's actually instructions for this one that look easier, right? But here I have to do this like weird thing. So maybe that could help. 2 of 45 tests failed. Okay, nobody responded to him. Okay, their unit test, so basically if it isn't working, it'll yell at you. Assertions of the tests. Their unit test, so basically if a particular unit of the whatever it is, assertions are the test. What is, I get what you're saying, but did I say something that like contradicted that? Or is that like helpful? Or are you just teaching me about that stuff? Because I'm actually like, I sort of knew that, but I didn't know it the way you said it. So that is helpful. Like, I'm not saying like in a bad way, because like I want the chat to teach me things. I just wasn't sure if you were telling me the answer, or if you were like describing the problem better. I thought you asked what it was. No, I did. I asked what it was earlier. So that's like, I just wasn't sure. No, thank you for that. That's helpful for me to try to understand in context. I was just hoping you were telling me the answer and what to do. Well, you did tell me the answer. You didn't tell me what to do, which is what I was hoping. But now I know more about like assertions. So okay, what is this? No, that's once it's already installed. And I have to quote this. Actually, slash module slash test enable 6. Oh, you know what? That's not even the same as mine. Has nobody else ever failed this before? You know, what if it was just the multi-threading? Wouldn't that be nice? If it was like some sort of like race condition or something? Let's try doing the checks again. But this time, oh, dang it. Well, actually, it already do you know how I can remove all of the test things? That's actually a really great question. Because I don't want to have to recompile everything. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have to recompile everything, but I do want to recompile the tests. That's probably another Google question. Oh, I forgot to see, you can't see my terminal. Okay, my bad. But it's good because now I'm back at the browser. Make clean tests. Oh, that's make file. Implementing make now make remove tests. Why does it make delete a file? Make file. Do you guys get what I'm asking? You know how you can do like make like clean or like make dist clean? and it deletes all of your compiled files. Like I want to do that, but just for the tests that I compiled. And I want to compile them like single threaded. Because in the I guess in the book, they recommended not doing it multi-threaded. Okay. Or do I just have to recompile? Look inside. Yeah. And just see if there's a target for that, you're saying? Check. Uninstall recur. Wait, what is this? No, it's like check recursive, but I want it to be. I don't know if that's the right thing. Well, I know that if it would be a target in here somewhere. Oh, dang it! Thank you so much, Viren. That always messes me up. Okay, check. And it's probably not in here. Dist uninstall check list files. But what's the name of the target? You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm just gonna recompile it. Oh wait, do I have to do Oh wait, disk clean deletes everything, right? I always forget. There's like make clean, there's disk clean. But now if I do if I print the make file, yeah, okay, the make file's gone. Oh, let me check to see if I put this all in right. Dang it, that looks right. Sysconf there. You know what? I'm actually gonna do this again. But this time I'm gonna pass this into egrep. And what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna search for anything that's like no or just nothing. So what this will do, this is a super nice grep tip for you guys to know. So you guys probably know that you can use grep to so is that you can use grep to search like a again to like search something to see if it's there. So either to search a file or to like to pipe into grep and then search it through there. Like search whatever that whatever file descriptor that is. So that's what grep is nice for. But one cool way to use grep is let's say you wanted grep to look through a file, right? But what grep does is, if you recall, is that it only prints out the lines, right, where it finds a match. But what if you want grep to only highlight matches, but to show everything, so pretty much you want grep to show everything, but to highlight your matches. So what you can do is that you can use a regex here that says the string that you want to look for, or like nothing. And what $sign means, that just means the end of the line, right? And obviously every line will have an end of line. So every line will match this expression here, right? Every line will match the expression or end of line, because every line has an end. But what it does is that end of lines won't get colorized. So what this lets you do is that this lets me print out everything. So what this does is that this will print out everything like normal, but it'll highlight matches where it says no, because I just want to see like what's not here. So we're not cross compiling. Oh, it's going too fast. Nothing useful there. Unfortunately. So now I'll just go and make it. Hopefully doing it single threaded will make it better. Anyways, the make check command might be what you're looking for, not too certain. The make check does... Okay, maybe I should explain what I wanted to do a bit more. You're right, so what this program comes with is that this program comes with a bunch of tests, right? But in order to run those tests, you have to compile those tests. So when you run, so make check is actually what does that. Make check does two things. The first thing that it does is that it compiles all the tests, and then it runs all the tests. So that's what make check is for, is that it compiles and runs the tests. I wanted to delete those compiled files, is what I wanted to do. So make check is like kind of the opposite then, because make check makes the files, right? It makes it, and then I wanted to do the opposite. So you guys got any good jokes while we sit here? Okay. Let's do this again. All right, moment of truth. I suspect, honestly, it's not going to work. Like, I didn't think... This is kind of a Hail Mary, so that I don't have to do anything. Because, honestly, the idea that doing it multi-threaded would, like, cause a problem is unlikely. As you can see, it's going a lot slower to compile all this stuff. But what CC is that CC is, like, the C compiler. So it's going through and it's compiling these things. Man, that pizza was really good. Ugh. Oh, Jay, I never answered your question about the package manager. So, like, let's talk about what a package manager is. Let's see that. Okay, it's going good so far. Okay. So again, like let's talk about what even is a package manager. because that's something that you got to think of when you're doing it. So what a package manager, because this is something that I'm thinking of because I've thought of this too, is that so a package manager allows to track the installation of files, right, making it easy to remove and upgrade software, right? That's what package management is good for, to like installing, removing, upgrading software. And as well as the binary and library files, the package manager also handles the installation of configuration files. So that's like awesome. So it handles binary, libraries, and configuration files. So like let's talk about like some of the so how do you actually go about implementing this, right? What are some of the popular techniques around this? Um so yeah, okay. So let's talk about it. Um, Moral of the story, though, like from what I'm thinking of where I am right now, is that dealing with package management is sort of takes the focus away. One reason that, like, if you say like when you say package management, if you say something like apt, like, am I gonna get like the apt source code or like Pacman or something like that and try to make that on here? I don't think so because again, what a package manager does is that it does all of the binaries and libraries and configuration files. The point of this operating system for me is to learn about how things work, right? So, I mean, I guess if I had to install and set up a package manager from scratch, like if I were to create my own package manager, which is something that that I thought of doing, it's like on the upside, I would learn tons about package management, right? And I would learn how those things work, and that's cool. But I think it takes away the focus of learning how a Linux system is built. So it teaches me one thing, but it sort of takes away the teaching of other things. Um, yeah, and then some things are like tricky. Maybe it's just because my operating system isn't the most robust. But if something like glibc needs to be upgraded to a newer version, it's probably safer to just like rebuild the whole OS. Um, yeah, and then the thing is though, is that if a package containing a shared library is updated, and then if the name of that library changes, I don't know if everybody was here earlier when I talked about the difference between static and dynamic linking, right? But let's say you have a library that's statically linked. Let me get the chat back up in case somebody puts. It's like Git, but a little more powerful. Um, oh God, son of a. Here we go again. All right, let's let these tests finish up. Yeah, the same 51 failures. That didn't do anything except it took way longer this time. Hmm. Okay, we're nuking it. I'll start talking about package management again in a second once I get this. Okay, I'm gonna do this as like minimal as possible. That's what I'm thinking of. Um. Okay. What do we got? Is there anything that like I'm missing that could like be super helpful? Okay. What are the odds that like I should like re-download it? Like, do you think it's physically possible that there was like corruption while downloading? No. Don't entertain my thoughts. That's ridiculous. Such configure prefaces either sysconf does. You go to Etsy with trespass. /Etsy/PKI/anchors sysconf there. Okay. So it's like Git is one of the core parts of a package manager probably. So again, a package manager does a bunch of things. And so that's a good observation with the Git thing. And one of the things that it does, right, is that it's responsible for a couple of things, and one of those things, oh, hang on, sorry. So it does a lot of things, and one of those things is like the retrieving of packages, right? So in that sense, that is what, so package managers have to do that. But then package managers also do things outside of just grabbing stuff, specifically like the configuration, right? So the configuration, that would be something that a package manager does that's outside the realm of Git. But maybe like, but a lot of what a package manager also does is like, is retrieving files and also looking for updates to things and like efficiently making patches, which is definitely something like, which is definitely like Git. But like but most, I would imagine most package managers use Git. So yeah, but like, what are some different techniques, right, for package managers? So like, here's some common package management techniques. So there's like different methodologies. So the first one is like installing things in different. Actually, honestly, the first one, even more basic than that, would just be to say like the the simplest package management technique is just it's all in your head, you know. So that's just saying, some people like for me and mine, for my operating system, maybe I don't have the need for a package manager because, like, now why may I not need a package manager? It's because I know all of the package on my system well enough and like intimately enough that I know what files are installed by each package. So if I know all the files that each package installs and I know what they all do, then I don't need any sort of package management because I can just, I can do it in my head, right? That's probably not me, but that's you could say that's the simplest one, right? But then the actual simplest, but that's sort of made up. Okay. Oh, here we go. All right, I'm just getting ready for this. See, there's no errors that come up here. I'm trying to scroll up and see what it said. Oh no, my scroll back buffer. Okay. I'll just do it. But saying that it's all in your head is sort of made up. So the actual simplest package management technique is just installing things in different directories, right? So this is just a very simple sort of package management, and that you don't need extra packages to manage the installations. So how would you go about doing this, right? Let me do this. So the way that you could go about doing that, right, is installing everything in so pretty much you take each package and you install it in a different directory. So if you have like this package, right, that's if you have a package that's called foo version 1.1, right? Again, what are we doing right now in the stream? Right now in the stream, we're trying to figure out how to make a package manager. How can we go and make a package manager? So if we have this thing, right? We have this package called foo version 1.1. We could install it in /user /packages, right? /pkg /foo 1.1, right? And then we make a symlink from /user /package /foo to foo 1.1, right? So, and then obviously when we're running programs and we're doing all that stuff, you know, or our other files need it, right? We'll just call this file foo, but it's a symlink to 1.1. And then when we upgrade, you know, to 1.2, we can just install the new version here and just replace that previous symlink, right? The thing is though, is that certain environment variables have to be expanded to include this directory, right? Because user package isn't part of like FHS, so that means like things like your path and your library path, right? All of this stuff has to be all of the stuff has to be expanded to include this directory, right? And also here, right? Like all of this has to be in your path. God, son of a. Oh wait, what is this? Test suite. Okay, I'm gonna try. This isn't what I'm about to do. Even if this works, I'll still have to edit it because like it won't work with other things. But I want to just try if I like don't change any options at all. You know what I'm saying? So what if I just do configure, and then I'm just gonna make it and then check it and see if that works. And maybe there's a newer version. Oh, I should check for that. What version is this? 23.16.1? 23.16.1. Okay. So P11 kit. .18.1 bug fix. You see bug fix? You see that, guys? Oh. All right. Well, I think that's the move, right? All right, let's do this. But again, I'm trying to get wget, and wget is what you use to download things from the internet. So it's kind of awkward. How can I download something without wget? And the answer is we use another operating system that does have wget to download it, right? And then we can just copy it over to the SD card. So that's what we're going to do. So what I'm going to do is, so right now we're on my operating system. I'm going to go over here to the Raspberry Pi, and then I'm going to go to where my operating system is mounted here, and then I'm going to go here to the sources. All right, so now I can do just wget and then, oh, that was pretty stupid of me. I copied the file name, but not the actual link. All right. So now we can exit from there and go back to my OS. Now let's delete this directory. So guys, what do you think? You think this is gonna work? Okay. Let's do this. Tar zxvf p11. Let me delete this too. Actually, I'll keep it around in case I need it. But this is 18. All right, but now do I still have to change those config files? That's what I'm wondering right now. Okay. Let me look here at this file. Oh gosh. I need the chat to spell check me here. Generate a new trust store. All right. All right, guys, we got this. Everything in here looks good. All right. Let's see. We got any new config options? Gotta put that in here. All right. We're still gonna have to change some of the same things. All right. Let's get to it. So we're gonna configure, and since we're installing this as a system tool, we're gonna set the prefix to the user. We're gonna change our sysconf directory to be /etc since we're, and then we're gonna do the with trust paths, and we're gonna set this because we want to switch the location of trusted certificates that's used by P11, that's used by the libraries that are installed by this. All right. All right. This is like my last hope. Well, my last hope before I have to shrug. I just know I'm dancing because I successfully made a VPN. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. How'd you do that? Are you using like one of the Pi? Is it not Pi-hole? That's a DNS thing. My roommate a few years ago, he did that. Magic? Ooh. Are you in a networking class right now? Okay. Okay. Let's do this, guys. So we were able to compile it fine last time. So I'm not worried about it compiling. I'm worried about the checking. I'm using an IP firewall, so I wanted to figure out how to put a VPN on it so I can access internal stuff. Could you explain exactly what that means? Like, I get what you're saying. Is what you're saying normally? You're right. If you want to access like something internally, you would have to like port forward that, whatever the IP and port that's on, so that it's publicly accessible. But what you're saying is that instead of doing that, you're just going to make sort of like by default everything is publicly accessible, but then you put a firewall on it that blocks everything except for the thing that you want. Is that sort of how that works? It's sort of like it would almost have the same effect as having like a regular system and port forwarding, but you sort of do it the inverse. So instead of like, so yeah, so pretty much it's having to port forward, you just open ports on the firewall. Or instead of opening ports on the file, you would just open it for a specific like IP address in total. That sounds super cool. Yeah, I want to hear more about that. All right. Please. Anyways. So one way of doing it, right? So again, we're talking about package management. So one of the problems with putting everything in /user/package and like having this, for example, is that all of your environment variables, like like your path, obviously, but other things like your compilation flags and all this stuff, right? You would have to include that stuff in there, right? So what this means is that this works fine if you have a few packages, but if you have any more than just a couple packages, this sort of package management where you put everything in different directories is, it's unmaintainable. So another way of doing it is by using like symlinks. So similar to the other one, so you install it similar to the previous way, but instead of like before when we made the symlink, right? Instead, each program is symlinked directly into /user, and that has the advantage that it's already on your path, right? Or somewhere in the /user hierarchy, right? So ideally, you want to put that in /user because only system files are in here. You would put in /user/local, right? So let's say you do that, right? So instead of putting it in /user/package, you symlink everything into like somewhere in /user, like maybe /user/local. So what this does is that it removes the need to put something in all of your environment variables, like your path and all that. Yeah. And the thing is that so you as the user, right? So if I'm making this, I could manually make each symlink. So I could manually make each symlink as I install things, right? So that could sort of be my package management. Something else that's very interesting about this is that a lot of package managers sort of use this approach. No. Hey, it used to be 51 failures. Now it's only 50 failures. So, I don't know what that's about. Hang on one. Yeah, so that's pretty disappointing. See, all of the transport stuff failed. I don't think I can ignore this. So what do I do? Man, I hate debugging this shit. Excuse my language, but where is it? Not okay. I don't know what this means. Like, I don't even know what this means. All right, I'll be right back. Right. Right. The firewall would basically block anything coming from the outside unless the inside solicited it. Like going to a website, the firewall would open itself to return traffic so the inside would get the website. Like going to a website, the firewall would open itself for return traffic. However, what if the outside wants to start the connection? Firewall locks that down, so there's a few ways. Publish an internal service to the outside by port forwarding, or set up a VPN server to get the internal network from the outside VPN client. Okay, so the first way makes sense to me. So pretty much, instead of having a firewall blocking everything, it blocks everything except the service that would request for another port to be open for it to connect to. That's the first way. That makes sense to me. And then you say the other way is to set up a VPN server to get the internal network from the outside VPN client. I'm thinking about how that works. Oh, I forgot. Wouldn't you still need like ports open or something though for the VPN to work? Oh, I get it. That's what the VPN is for. Okay. So that you don't have to port forward anything. Because as long as you have the VPN, then you can just have all the ports accessible. And then there's no firewall at all. If you're connected with the VPN, then it opens everything up. I get what you're saying. Cool. Do you know what's not cool? My code not working. And what's even less cool is that I don't even know where to start. Let's try to fix it. The same things fail. All right, this may turn into it's just internal to internal traffic, nothing external except for that VPN connection. Yes, I get the motivation now. So very cool. Okay. github.com/p11glue/p11kit. Do you think anybody else has had this problem? Oh my gosh, I'm building this on ARM v7 now. Hang on a second. What did my config look like? Is it too far away? Hang on. Did I pass it? Is that stored somewhere? Okay. Hang on. I may have found a companion. Oh no, it'd be in config log, right? Oh shoot. What did I just save? Config.log. Look at this. Same host, default, strict build. Oh my gosh, I may have found like my soulmate here. We have a different thing for load relative module paths. And then he doesn't have any trust module paths. What tests fail for him? I can't read this. Fail. I wish Safari could do like case sensitive search, you know what I'm saying? Oh, come on, none of them fail? Wait, what is his problem? Error test. Oh, that's his problem? Oh, I have those same errors too. See, I also have this same thing where I have like 2 errors, but well, let's see what the errors are. Maybe the reason that these tests are failing have to do with the errors. So here are the 2 errors. Test deprecated. Deprecate. Deprecate. Or no, I should look for error. Test compat. Test conf. Missing test plan. Okay. So one of our errors is the same. The other one isn't the same. I think it's very likely that others had this problem. But he doesn't have exactly the same problem as me. He has like the same architecture, which is like very reassuring. And it's cool how it's also the most recent one. It's similar, but not exactly the same. Wait, what did this say? Try rewriting in Rust. I wonder, maybe I am missing a dependency. But then that website said that those are all the dependencies. I don't know. Generic style. Okay. Well, this is as close as I have. All right, you know what? This guy's my soulmate, so I gotta. And I am having a similar. All right. I am running into check errors too on the same architecture as you are. Config log, okay. Config. How do I copy all this? Maybe what I will do. This is why I'm glad I'm using screen. What is this? Okay. Nobody let me put anything else on my clipboard for a minute. So I'm putting that on my clipboard. Oh, you guys can see what I'm doing. So I'm putting this in my clipboard. Nobody let me copy anything else accidentally. SCP. Yeah, no. The obvious thing would be to do copy and paste Ego, but I can't copy and paste because I'm like SSH'd into it, and I can't and I'm in Tmux, and it's like it's really hard to. It's hard to do that. Instead, what I will do is /mount/lfs. And then what was the other? Test suite.log? No, I get what you're saying, and that's like what I would do if I was doing this all on my computer. That would be pretty easy. Actually, hang on. Build. What was it? Test log? Let me look. I just gotta remember what the name of this is. Test suite.log. Test suite.log. So like if I were actually doing this on my computer and there was like the error, what I would actually do is that I could manually put it into here because like I could just like so I could do like cat. So this is actually what I could do, and maybe this is what I'll do. So I could cat. So if I want to copy this whole file, config.log, right? Because I'm going to need to put the output here. I can do cat config.log and then pipe it into pb copy. And now I can just go here and press paste, and it'll paste it all. So that's what I would do here. So there I can just pipe it into my clipboard, which is kind of cool. Oh, you guys didn't see me paste it. I did that thing, and then I did paste, and then I'll show you. Oh, okay. See? And then I just press paste, and then it's there. I need to format this as code, though. Whoa, this is slowing my computer down. Hello? I just want to format some text here. Jeez, OBS is such garbage. It makes my computer suck. At least OBS on Mac is garbage. What's the network issue? Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, Ego. I haven't seen you here before. How's it going, dude? How's your day been? Do you have well, normally I ask people if they have any experience with Linux, but it seems like you definitely do. What's the network issue? Dude, I've had so many network issues. Well, I can show you first like what's going on. Okay. So the issue that's here like right now has to do with I'm trying to install a P11 kit, which I'm going to use to install Make CA, which I'll do for like so I can get HTTPS for wget, because I'm trying to install wget. But in order to install wget, I have to get all the HTTPS stuff set up first. Maybe need OpenSSL. I don't know. But also another thing that I'm really trying to figure out is that I'm trying to install DHCP, specifically the client DHCP CD, and I'm getting errors when I'm like if I do ignore all the dates. But so I can go into this in another stream since like I can go more into this in another stream since right now I'm trying to do the P11 kit stuff. But pretty much what happens is that I'm trying to get like I'm trying to open DHCP and the stuff looks kind of normal at first. And then it's assigning me these weird IPv6 addresses and then operation not supported and then things just sort of start. And the thing is that this IP address here, no. Okay, hang on. This address here is actually correct. Like this is. No. I was referring to this one. So this address is actually the IP address of the DHCP server. So it's really cool that it found it. But this is like the only time it's like mentioned. And then for some reason, it then I see it. So it says, and then it says like these checksum failures. I have no freaking clue what a checksum failure is. I tried looking it up. Nothing I found made any sense. And then so even though it says here, like so I can tell you what it is, like I know that the IP address should be 192.168.2.2. I know that should be the IP address, should be .2.2. Yet it assigns me this IP address, which is not correct. And then it has all these checks and failures. And then nothing happens. So then and then this is just me shutting it down. But you can see here that it has more errors than shutting it down. That's an APIPA address. Oh, Vuren, you know this? Automatic. Wait, what? There is a checksum and IP. Wait, if you guys know what this is talking about, okay, hang on. I'm not worried about the P11 kit right now. If you can help me with this, okay. What's a FE is local? Is link local. So on IP packets, there's a checksum and IPv4 169 alpha. Okay. That's an AP IPA address, so it couldn't find. Which one is the AP IPA address? This one here? The IPv, like this thing? Oh, shoot, wait. Okay. Yeah, you set it to 2.1, but it's not getting it. What's not getting it? I didn't even do this manually. Like, it found it on its own. I was really proud of it. Because I've gotten what's it called? Static IP addressing to work. So I can give it a static IP address and it works like a charm. Right? But then I removed the static addressing and I tried to get like DHCP. And as you can see here, like it can find. So I was really like at first when I was looking through the logs, I was stoked because I saw this is the correct address. I was like, oh, it found it, right? So DHCP should work. That's so Vuren, when you're saying it couldn't find the DHCP server, I mean it did find it because this is the DHCP server here. So it's like it found it, right? It knows that it's there, but it didn't get the 2.2 address, which it should have. Automatic, yeah, you set it to 2.1, but it's not getting it, the 169. I think you need to T-shoot the connection from device to network. It didn't really find anything, TVH. You do have a DHCP server on your network. I do have a DHCP server on my network, and that is the address of it, 192.168.2.1. Would it be helpful if I explained my networking configuration here? Okay, I'll explain. Okay, I don't have SSH. Okay, yeah, let me explain some more. I am trying to build my whole operating system entirely from scratch on a Raspberry Pi. Okay? So, what I do though is that before I'm able to but it takes I started with like an SD card with like nothing on it, right? And then to go from a literally blank like partition on an SD card to like a full operating system, you got to do a bunch of things, right? And you can't boot from it immediately. So what you do before you're able to boot from it is that like you just use another operating system to sort of like so that you can like access it, the SD card, right? Before you can boot onto it. And then you can use like chroot eventually. So I'm doing this on a Raspberry Pi. Okay, I'm sorry for. Okay, let me get back on topic. So I'm making this on a Raspberry Pi. The way that I am streaming this to you guys is that since the Raspberry Pi is very bad at streaming, right? So instead I'm streaming it from my MacBook, which is very fast and it can stream it fine. So what I'm do is that I SSH, as you can see, I can SSH from my MacBook into the Raspberry Pi, and then I use tmux to make it look nice, or so that I can type on the laptop, or I can type using my mechanical keyboard in it, and you guys can see it. However, I don't have SSH working yet on my operating system. I don't. Yeah, I can scroll up. Okay, I'm sorry. I got to speak faster. So I don't have because I think you guys. This is very critical information. So what? Okay, so pretty much what you're seeing right now, right? I don't have SSH on it because I have SSH on the Raspbian partition, right? So what I do right now is that I know you guys are reading this. I'll show you this in just. So what I do is that I have my operating system like hang on. So what I have here is that if I if I go here, right? This is my Raspberry Pi right? This is the Raspberry Pi. I'm actually running. So what you're seeing now, right on the right hand side, is the Raspberry Pi. So I SSH into the Raspberry Pi, and then when I'm in the Raspberry Pi, what I've done is that I've mounted the partition, right? I've mounted my operating system onto here. This is just so I can stream. This is what I'm doing as a workaround for streaming. So I mount my partition here, and then I do chroot into where I mounted it. So I have SSH on the Pi, but not but I don't have SSH yet on my OS. but I want to stream for you guys, right? So what I'm doing is that instead of booting into the OS, I boot into the Raspberry Pi. I boot into the Raspberry Pi SSH into it and do it through there. Unfortunately, this hinders a lot of my troubleshooting ability because while a lot of the user space, like very high level parts of the operating system, I can chroot, right? And then that it switches it off fine. For the lower level things like the networking, for example, right? And like the kernel, obviously, and like init and systemd and system 5 and all that stuff, that doesn't carry over, right? When I chroot, and including the DHCP thing. So actually what I've been doing to get these error logs is that I sort of just like, you know, I'll just make where my face is here a lot bigger, so you can see my pretty face. And then I'll actually like reboot into the actual partition. I'll reboot into my actual OS. And then I can like collect the logs and I save all the logs somewhere. And then I can boot back in to my OS. No, I know. I know if you're in that, that there's no difference there. That's why I know that my Pi will have the address 2.2 because something that's actually sort of helpful for troubleshooting is that I can look here so I know what it's gonna look like, right? So I know that the result should be this. When it's all if DHCP would work. So if I really wanted to troubleshoot this, and what I've been doing, right, is that since I can't actually do this part on stream, is that because for most of the time I've been working on this, I've been able to do most of the stuff so far on stream with you guys because it's been a lot of the higher level things that can work on top of the same that works on top of the same things that are in Raspbian OS. But I can't show you guys the lower level stuff on stream until I get SSH and tmux working on there. But you guys can look at the logs. So these are the logs. Point a camera at it. I tried that. It's not like this is what you can't really see this. And I think the text is smaller actually when I reboot. Like this is my like right now I'm just in my window manager. So like I'm just in DWM right now, so it's like fine, but this is what it looks like when I'm actually on a TTY. It's like if I go here to the TTY and then I do like this is what the text looks like. So I was trying to do that for you guys, but yeah. I was trying to do this for you guys yesterday, but you can't really read it. So then when I just started doing that, I would just type a command and then do the the greater than signs and then put it in a file and then reboot. Project that shit on a wall. Dude, maybe like yeah. I have to figure out some way because it is like it's too difficult to like it's not efficient having to like reboot and stuff. Like having to reboot into it and then show you and then like who knows, maybe this compilation problem, which is like unrelated, or who knows, maybe it is a related problem, but maybe that compilation problem has something to do with the fact that I don't think P11 is something that low level. Second, hang on. Where was I? Yeah, and enhance. Yeah, I don't know the best way to do it. Like again, I'm not a pro streamer yet. I actually did some calculations and I'm seeing like how many people are in the stream now, and I predict probably by the middle to end till next month I'll be as big as Ninja, but For the next couple days, I'm not quite as big as Ninja yet. So I don't really know if I should so I don't think I can shell out whatever it is, $200 for a stream bot thing, you know? Like some expensive things like a display capture card for the TV and then or for the monitor and yeah. Yo, Eggo's straight up never heard of exponential growth before. All right. Today it's 2. The next day it's 200. The next day it's 20,000, right? I'm just saying at this rate because yesterday I had 0.02 people, right? So if yesterday I had 0.02 people watching, today I have 2 people watching. The math works out. I'm going to be the biggest streamer on Twitch. Just you got to give it a while. How many days streaming? I think this is I think it's been a week and a day. I think it's been a week and a day so far. So, yeah. You know what, Ego? Well, if you want to stop sitting there and criticizing and help out a bit, if you drop a follow, that would be super helpful and really cool. I'd appreciate that a lot, actually. All right. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Dude, Ego, thank you so much for following. That means a lot to me. What I want to do with this stream is right now it's just bug hunting, which isn't, but what I'm hoping to get out of this stream is that I'm hoping that you guys can learn a lot and that you can see cool things. And you just got here and we're doing bug fixing right now, but I've been trying a lot to teach people how Linux works at a very low level fundamentally. And and just to teach people stuff about Bash and Vim and but I'm also really hoping to learn from you guys because I did not expect this when I started streaming, but my chat is I have super smart people in my chat all the time. And I've learned a lot from you guys and I'm looking forward to, to for you guys to learn stuff from me and definitely me to learn stuff from you. And then also us just to learn things together, we've been spending a lot of time literally I'm just sitting here reading Wikipedia articles. I'm streaming my web browser on Wikipedia and we're just reading Wikipedia articles together trying to learn things. So, yeah. Let's see, you drop into help. It's not criticism negative, but healthy. I know. I'm kidding. I'm giving you a hard time. Oh dear, you're making his head get bigger. You're starting off set. I'm a network engineer. Oh, you're a network engineer. Well, that's very cool. But yeah, if you have questions about anything, about specifically what I'm working on right now, or things about Linux or computers or life or literally anything like that. Oh, also, even though I'm doing this software engineering work right now, I'm not actually what my day job is, what I do for a living is that I actually study astrophysics. So if you have questions about anything about the universe, like black holes or the Big Bang or supernova stars exploding, you can ask me that and we can talk about that too. People grow. Make sure you are not delusional. Lol. Need to know if this is science or humor. Hopefully both. If what science or humor. I'm not. I was kidding about the ninja thing. I mean, I don't actually think I'm going to be bigger than the ninja. Oh, of this stream? Dude, this stream is literally whatever you guys want it to be. Yeah. There is no way anybody in this category could be as big as the gaming people on Twitch. I was watching this coding stream last night and it was such a well-produced stream. And the guy was very entertaining and funny. It was a great stream. And he had 50 viewers in here. And I was if this guy was streaming games, he'd have thousands of viewers. I'm trying to remember the name of the channel. If he's streaming, I'll definitely rate him after this because I had a fun time there. All right. Anyways, let's get back to bug reporting. So here's the config.log. Now I need that build.log. So okay. Oh wait, shit! I didn't put the. I think I said the name of it. Are these exactly the same? What is this? Test suite.log and then build.log. Uh, what? I mean, what is it? Test suite. I'm sorry. I'm not thinking. Yeah, what's the difference? Are these the same? Why do I keep on calling it that? It's configure. Okay, they are different. Is this longer? No. Okay, I have to put both of them in. Although I really don't know what the difference is. Oh shoot, wait, I don't have the chat up. I don't know if people have talked about that. So I had an idea tonight. If you have another talent, pre-record it. Like, what if you record drawing or games, then do actual streams so people can watch both? Well, I can't draw. What other talents? I don't know if I have other talents. Well, I guess physics is my other talent, so I could record me doing physics things, like doing my research or something. Doing math, solving equations. People can watch both. That would be crazy to have like 2 streams. But why would I pre-record it? I guess I could like I guess I could just do 2 streams, right? I could do a physics stream and then do like a coding stream and then but like if I do like the physics stream first, I could like replay. I could replay the physics stream during the coding stream. Okay. Also, I've been suggesting opacity overlay camera across whole stream. Black Sheep Spicy uses it. Diff, yeah. I know Diff. Great minds think alike. I've also been suggesting opacity. What is opacity overlay camera? Are you just saying like this to make? Hang on, I can do this. I actually am really bad at OBS, but let's see if I can figure out how to make this thing transparent. De-interlacing transform. Filters? Compressor, expander, video delay. Okay, actually, I don't know how to make it transparent. No, yeah, Ego, I get what you're saying. I'm trying to figure out how to make this thing transparent, but that seems like a Google question. Edit transform. Oh, is it here? No. Scale filtering, deinterlacing, transform. Yeah, I don't know how to do that, but Ego, if I figure that out, I'll totally do that. All right, anyways, I usually have 3, and I've also been suggesting opacity. I mean, that sounds like a good idea. I'd do that if I knew how. So what's with the asteroids? Definitely going to hit us. I've seen digital tele. Okay. Asteroids. I haven't heard any asteroids are going to hit us. We had some close encounter a couple weeks ago. In like a period of I think like 2 days, we had like 4 huge asteroids come between like that almost hit us. Like they were so close that they were actually between us and the moon. So we had some close encounters, but nothing bad. I don't think anything bad's gonna happen quite yet. That's too mentally heavy to do physics and coding. Well, I don't know what other talents I have, Ego. Like make your camera opacity less and overlay. Yeah. You're sorry, I'm back. Computer crash accidentally used up 100% of its RAM. Oh my gosh. How did you do that? I was accidentally using 20 and then was running more than 20 times of Firefox and running Discord. And then I decided to install Python. That's crazy. What are you doing? That takes up 32 gigabytes of RAM. That's so much. I have 32 gigs of RAM on my computer, and I almost never. I don't think I've ever seen my swap at all. Like when I use HTOP or something and I see how much swap I have, I don't think it's ever been more than like a byte. Let's see. But I'm streaming right now, so who knows? Now look at that. Oh. Look at that swap right there. You guys like that swap? You like that? You like that? Although I'm using a lot. I'm using 16.9 gigabytes right now. And I topped you. I have over 30 tabs open right now. So that's something. Ego says get a tab suspender for Firefox. Dude, tab suspend. The reason why you get a computer with 32 gigs of RAM is so that you don't have to worry about tab suspenders. Like, who buys a computer with 32 gigs of RAM and then and then puts tab suspenders on it? It's like, no, I got 32 gigs of RAM because I want to go back to that tab I had, 200 tabs ago, 6 weeks ago that I haven't looked at in 6 weeks, and I just want to click that tab and I want it to just appear instantly. None of that reloading. Nah. That's why I got it. That's why I got my computer. Well, I dedicated a crap ton of RAM to my VMs, and then I added a couple other VMs. Well, you said Windows was too stupid to figure out to do. Use Linux, dude. Linux actually has much better memory allocation and management. Like the kernel. Actually, in kernel space and in terms of user space, like systemd plus the Linux kernel, dude, that tag team of memory management is something else. Ouch, but you can have 100, lol. Set which ones you keep active, where you have to close them all to see anyways. Let me finish this bug report. All right, they also want to see the name of it. Oh, gosh. Okay. See, this is the other thing, is that I think this isn't the same either. Because remember, I was talking about things that are like the same and different between like CH versus the actual thing. I recall this maybe being something different. Would that be in my syslog? Do you know? Like if I look in like syslog, like that might be in there, right? Oh, other interesting thing, service. Oh no, that's actually another problem. Don't worry about that. I fixed that already. Okay. I think it's close enough to being the same. So let me just copy this. Oh, you guys couldn't even see what I was doing. Okay. Um, differences. Many I had many failures along. I had many failures. We have one error in common, but I have another error you don't have. What other differences did we have? I do have test suite.log. Our config is slightly different. Actually, I want to add one extra piece of info. Oh, you know what? That's here. I'm just gonna bold it. No, actually, no. This isn't what I want to bold. I think it's at the end of the configure stage. Something was printed that I want to emphasize. Here it is. Oh no, wait. This isn't me. This is the other guy. Oh, 112 matches. Fuck. Okay, this is it. And then I'm gonna put this at the top. Config summary. Oh. Oh no, what have I done? Oh my gosh, where the heck is the top of this? Wait, I'm confused. Let me look at the chat. I haven't looked at the chat in a while. I know Linux is better, but on Windows because compatibility, Linux can't do what I need to do. The video games I play. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's why I dual boot for games. All right, right-click your source and select filters. I was there before, but maybe I just didn't see it. I was looking at the filters. Look at the filters. Oh, and now you're gonna make me do it myself. Okay. Go to address. Oh no. Okay. Go to address, a new window. I was looking for something called alpha. Yeah, I think that's for another version of OBS. There's no alpha version here. And also, there's no plus at the bottom right either. There's a compressor, an expander, gain, invert polarity, limit, noise gain, noise suppression, VST 2.0 plugin, apply LET chroma key, color correction, color key, crop and pad, image mask, and blend. Oh, maybe it's in their image mask. Does that work? Does that do anything? I see an opacity option now, but it's like it has a different name. I don't think that worked. Dual stack? I don't know what dual stack is. I am using Alpha Mask right now. There's Alpha Mask and then Alpha. Oh, there's Alpha Mask Color Channel and there's Alpha Mask Alpha Channel. So maybe if I change it to Alpha Channel. Yeah, I'm not noticing anything different. There's Blend. Yeah, none of the settings do anything. Read the art. You want me to read it? Oh my. You literally sent me a blank picture. Literally a blank picture. Above that. Okay. Download the white graphic. Oh. Save image to downloads. Right click your source and select filters. Click on the plus button. For the type, select Alpha Mask and browse for the image. Oh, yeah, I didn't read it. Okay. Alpha Mask. Oh, the path. Okay. Oh. Is that doing it? Is that... Oh, snap. Yo, thank you so much, Ego. That's so cool. Oh, that's sick. Look at that. Ah. Okay. Cool. Unfollow, leave stream. Okay. Now I don't want to make it big. Yeah, that's pretty cool. You want me to make the? You want me to? I think it's gonna look ridiculous. This looks ridiculous. You want me to just like casually just be coding like this? No. Veto. Veto on that one. Trust. Viren, what do you think? No, put it lighter than white background. You want it to be even lighter? Dude, am I that ugly? Am I like that unattractive? Is that what this is? Is that what's going on here? Wow. We come for the brains? What are you, a zombie or something? Make it. This is crazy. You think this is like how I should be streaming? Alright, can somebody help me figure out why, back to this. Why can't I, it's not formatting right. Look at this. It's like, oh, this part looks good. And then the markdown like just breaks here. Where is that? Oh my gosh. How can I find where my post is? Help. These damn things are so freaking long. No, but like what's a fast way to like jump to the top of my. Am I in the wrong place? Oh, I could search for my name. Okay. Oh, I did not mean to do that. So why does this break the markdown? Is this where it breaks it? Oh, I gotta see the chat. I can't see it. Make it larger. Up the opacity. Make your chat smaller? What's going on here? It's annoying for viewers who do chat. I should make the chats. Okay, well, I can make the chat smaller. Like that? Should I do it like that? Or should I like. Well, how do you want me to do it? Alright, can I figure out how to do this? Because it looks crazy right now. Like it looks fine, and then I don't know why this stops working, and I gotta figure this out, or else nobody's gonna help me. And I need people to help me. See, look, right here. Why does this... Oh, I figured it out. Okay, I'm just way too tired for this. Okay. Okay, everything works now. Our config is slightly different. IDK. If our problems are related at all. If not, I'll go ahead and make my own issue. Should issue be capitalized? Why not? All right, let's see what the chat says. Okay. So how does the chat look? I think that looks kind of silly, right? I'll change it. I know you guys don't like this, but I'll make it work. Hang on, give me a second. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go here to Streamlabs. Look at this, guys. In a couple streams from now, I'm gonna be as big as what's her name? Something Bella something. I know her name's Belle or Bella. Here's chat box. What I can do, should I make the font size smaller? And then instead of this, I can make the messages disappear after like whatever. Like after 30 seconds, and then maybe set the font size to be smaller. Can I set how many messages show up? Okay, guys, what do you think? Okay, somebody send a message in the chat. How does that look? Thanks, Viren. And I like kittens too. All right, and what do you guys think of this like ghostly transparent picture? Does that work? Okay, make the text size larger. Gotcha. All right. How is it now? Ugh. Oh, you want the camera to be even bigger? All right, well, this is as big as it'll go. Oh no, if you're in your VPN broke. I'm sorry to hear about that. Pull up white? What do you mean? Like you want me to show a white image or something on the stream? Wow. I look like a ghost. See, I need a green screen. That would also be cool. Once I'm like, before I get to ninja size, once I'm like summit or like shroud size, I think I'll go and get a green screen. Did you feed Tina? Who's Tina? Anyways, so I go. Pretty much what my plan is that I really want to get SSH working so we can try to diagnose the DHCP thing. Although getting SSH to work has been like harder than getting, like, I've put more effort now into getting SSH to work than I have getting DHCP to work. But if I can get SSH to work, then I can actually like show you guys the problems in real time, and that would be very nice. Yeah, I can set a manual IP. I just got SSH to work for myself. Yeah. Well, yeah, SSH can sometimes be a bit annoying to set up. I think my SSH thing is going to be a bit more involved though, because if no DHCP, you'll need to get that. No, I can set a manual IP. So that's the thing, is that I have networking. Like I can connect to the internet. Like I can ping like Google or whatever, and that's fine. Um, so even without DHCP, I could hypothetically get SSH, but I can't, because one of the things that you need for SSH is that you need wget for some reason, like I guess to download some files that you need. But in order to get wget, you need like SSL and all of this encryption stuff. So that's what I spent today doing, is trying to get all that encryption stuff. Yeah, I know, exactly. Yeah, SSH has so many dependencies. SSH has so many dependencies. Like it's going to take forever to get SSH to work, but that's what I'm doing. You know what's very funny? Can I tell you guys a story? So, one of the reasons that I decided to do this now is because I'm taking an operating systems class right now, and we have to do like a project for the class. And I've always wanted to do Linux from scratch, so I figured like, oh, then I guess like I could say that this is my project. Obviously, like this is the most I've spent 77 hours on this so far. Like this is nobody's ever done an operating systems project like this involved before, so it's like obviously I'm going way above. But the thing is that I want to do this project on my own. Like obviously, like I've spent 70 hours, over almost 80 hours all by myself, and but the professor said that if I wanted to do this for my project, I'd have to work with somebody. I couldn't do it all myself. But like I didn't want to work with anybody, so I didn't ask anybody to be my partner. So the only people that were left in the class that didn't have partners, like a few days ago, was me and this like random girl in the class that I don't think like does stuff in the class. So the professor said that we have to be partners like on this project. So she's like, "Oh, like what are you doing?" Like hoping I guess it would be like an easy project that she could get started with. And I tried explaining it to her, and she was like, I mean, obviously part of it is because I am like not great at that kind of stuff. So she probably just got confused because I was bad at explaining it. But now she like wants to like but now she like wants to meet with me on Monday so we can like work on the project together. And I'm like, how are we gonna work on this together? You know what I'm saying? Like honestly, if I could stick her on this like DHCP thing or like get SSH working, that'd be awesome. But it's like with this system, it's like I've like this is my operating system that I made, so I know everything about this. Like it's really hard for me to get this to work, but it would be like almost impossible for somebody that doesn't have any knowledge about how I designed the system, because I know where all the files are. Like that package, we were talking about the package management thing. Well, right now the system is basic enough that I actually do pretty much know what every single like file on here does and where everything is installed. What's the project objective? Just to make my operating system. Yeah, that's the thing. And my professor criticized me for not having like a clear like goal. But when she realized like just how intense it would be, she was like, she didn't really care. Because she told me that this is like nobody in her class ever tried to take on something like this for a class project. But this is a 300 level class. So that's CompSci 350 operating systems. Um, I don't even know how I'm gonna show this to her. Like, am I gonna have to bring the Pi to school? But then I'll need like a monitor, right? So am I gonna bring the monitor and the Pi and all that to school and like show her it? But like it would be such a learning curve to try to teach her all of that because she hasn't used like Linux before either. So it's like in the class, like in the labs, we have to like we use Linux for some of the things. But like that was the first time she'd ever like used Bash or like any sort of command line before. And obviously it's like not, so she was having like trouble like getting it, which makes sense because you're doing it in class. I think you should scale it down to where the other person can contribute. So the biggest thing you will learn about this is working with somebody else. Oh no, the biggest thing I've already learned about this, like I've yeah, I go. You haven't been here, but I've spent so much time working. I've learned a crazy amount um on this project, and it's been so helpful to me. I mean, and you said to scale it down. I mean, I think it's too late for that, right? I mean, like look at what I'm working with here. I mean, I have all this stuff. Well, I don't know what the heck that is, but I have all this stuff here. I don't know if it's you know, I can't make it any simpler now because even I like what I'm saying is that all the hours I put into this, like even if I were just to stop here and be like, okay, this is um like even if I was just to stop here and like turn it in, it's like still like it's a lot for somebody that wasn't like working on it the whole time to figure it out. You're right, you know it all. Oh no, I'm not saying that. Wait, what is that referring to? I'm confused. So the biggest thing you will learn about this is working with someone. Oh no, no, no. I still have a lot to learn, and I get what you're saying. I mean, that was more of like a joke when you're saying that like I would learn how to work with somebody else. I mean, like you're right, but so do you think you have enough technicality for the class? So do you think you have enough? I don't know what you mean by that. And I think you should scale it down to where the other person can contribute. That's the thing is that like what the other person wanted to do for their project is like, and I actually felt really awkward about this because I've been working on this for months now, and we only had to like finalize the decision for the project last week. So I've been working on this, because obviously I've put in dozens and dozens of hours so far in this project, and then but then when this girl like came up to me to ask to like be my partner, she had the idea of making like a she also was actually thinking of using a Raspberry Pi, but she wanted to like install like Pi-hole or something and like make a Pi-hole DNS thing. Oh, we got some message. What are her skills? I mean, he said, where everything is. How about some documentation on the OS? How about some documentation? That's actually a good. But in order to, well, there's sort of documentation. Well, that's tricky. Well, that's a good point. That could be. There is some documentation, but it could be improved. Oh, you would actually be able to use a Pi-hole. Yeah, that's true. So in a sense, that project's better. But then I felt awkward when I like because I've already committed so much time into this. I kind of had to say like, and she hadn't started her project at all because she told me that she just Googled like operating systems projects and that's like one of the results and that's fine. But I kind of had to be like, but when she suggested that idea, I kind of had to be like, I had to like say politely like, oh, I've already started this project, so I kind of want to stick with it. Because could you imagine if I did all this? Well, I mean, the reason that I'm doing this isn't for my class project. I mean, but if I'm doing this for myself so I can learn. But if it like, but if I did all this work and I wasn't able to turn it in for the project, that'd be kind of annoying. Yes, that's definitely true, Viren. That would be usable. Yeah, yeah. I've spent so much time on this. Oh gosh, this thing has like consumed my life. I'm just trying to think out. So what I need to do is that I got to get SSH working. I'm getting kind of tired, but I want to figure out what I'm doing tomorrow. So what I'm doing tomorrow, right, is P11 kit. That's the thing that wasn't working, right? So I got to figure out how to get P11 kit to work. And then when I get P11 kit to work, I will install the make CA thing. And then once I install make CA, I will reinstall P11 kit. And then once I do that, I will get wget working. And then I forget what's after wget, but I think like some SSL stuff I'm going to have to do after that. And then some other like readline things, and then I can start looking at trying to get SSH working. But there's a bunch of things after wget. But like right now, like I'm trying to break things up into like milestones, like big milestones and sub milestones and sub milestones and things like that. So right now, like my current like milestone that like I'm working to is trying to get wget. But then wget itself is just a milestone on the way to SSH. But wget's like the next thing I'm working on. So yeah, and then once I get SSH, then I can try to get DHCP to work. All right. Tago says, good night. Yeah, thanks so much, everybody, for stopping in. Again, you guys have been, like, awesome today. Like, we had some really cool conversations. Sorry if I, like, sounded... I got the impression, Ego, that I was coming off as sounding very pretentious, and I hope that I'm not being pretentious. Like, there are things I can learn about cooperation. I was just saying that like when I'm working on this project right now, like I had already started working on that, and then I found out that I needed to have like a group, and you know, uh, and then I found out that I need a partner, and then that sort of changed things, and then like there's definitely things like that I could do better to, I guess, to make the project more accessible, but also this project sort of is a very like technical project, so like I honestly just don't know what to do, because I mean this person hasn't used like Linux before, and then this is a very like, or Bash, and this is a very Linux and Bash heavy project, so I don't, so it's tricky trying to um so yeah, it's tricky trying to get that to work, like you never know what someone can contribute to other have control. Oh no. Oh, I'm definitely not gonna be holding out at all. I mean, like I'm definitely going to be showing up there at our meeting and like saying all the things that actually need work. And what I'm going to do is that, I think somebody asked earlier if it's on GitHub. I'm going to put it on GitHub. Obviously this is nowhere close to being done, but I'll make like a tarball or something of the kernel, and then a tarball of like of my OS, and then I'll give that to her when we meet, and then I'll describe some of the challenges that we're having, and then I'll set her to work on trying to figure out, like, like if she can figure out what the heck is wrong with the, what is it called, with like P11 kit, and if she can get that to work, that would be awesome. Um, or if she could figure out some of these like other weird runtime dependency issues I've had with things I've been working on in the past, or just to add things like, again, to add some more networking stuff, or eventually if like this would be much later on, but having something like a like a window manager or a desktop environment, that would be super cool. So yeah, it's like, it's not like I want to do everything myself. Like if somebody else like I will take, I mean, obviously I don't want to do this. I mean, I'm streaming, right, and I'm trying to get help from all of you guys, so I'm not trying to do everything myself, and if other people want to, it's fine. No. I mean, I've never met her before, but I mean, like a lot of people haven't used Linux before. Like, I don't think she's stupid. I mean, like she can, like, I mean, she's made it to, she's probably, I mean, I think most people in her class are seniors, so she's a senior, so she definitely knows stuff, but she probably does like web programming or something else that's not Linux heavy, maybe she does like, she could be like, like a game thing. I think we have like a 3D games program here. I mean, there's a lot of comp sci stuff that doesn't involve Linux. So, I mean, like I'm sure she's very bright and just hasn't used Linux before, so, you know. Yeah. Yeah, wonder what her skill set is. Wait, why the dot dot dots? I'm getting a bad feeling about this. Yeah, those ellipses are concerning. Okay. During starting a project, you'd see what the objective is and goals, and who can contribute what to I already started this project. Usually, when starting a project, you would see what the objective is and goals, and who can contribute what. Too long didn't read. I already started this project. I'll update you the next time we meet. Oh, that's supposed to be me. Okay, maybe think about what that sounds. About maybe think about that sounds. Oh, okay, I get what you're saying. No, I mean it's tricky. I think it's a unique situation. I mean, um, yeah. I mean, because again, I already described it to her, and I sent her a bunch of the documentation too. Because like, there's some of the things that I've been reading, and there's like this thing here with like the dependencies and like Linux from scratch. So I've been trying to like we've been texting back and forth the last few days, and she's been asking me a bunch of questions about like how it works, and then we've been talking about like ideas and things like that. So yeah. No, but that's what I'm saying. This is different because I've wanted to make an OS like this for a long time. So um so when I'm taking an operating system class, I just thought it would be a good excuse to like work on it. So like nobody else, like I've been talking to other people in the class. Well, I don't know everybody in the class, but I know like 2/3 of the people in the class, and nobody else in the class has really started, and that's just because they have like other things to worry about. Let me think. I don't know what that second comment means. Maybe think about. So I just wonder what professor suggesting notes to make you team up with someone to do a project. Um, no, I don't think it would be sadistic if I was like if this was like another class, like I have projects in other classes that I'm working with people on, and it's fine. Like in my physics classes or like in my, like whatever in like a networking class or something like that. Like, you know, for those are the projects that I'm gonna like, work on. I'm gonna start working on a couple weeks before it's due, and then we're gonna figure, like for most of the things I do, it's like working with a partner. Like working with a partner on a project isn't bad. It's just this specific project that's unique from the other projects I've done before that I'm like really. Um. So what does she want to contribute? We don't know yet. We were just talking about like ideas for things. Um. I don't think there's a very like realistic understanding. I shouldn't say real. Well, honestly, I think that's what it is. Like a realistic understanding of what like like when I was talking to her in class, I got the idea that what she thought making like what this would be like, oh, like let's make another version of Windows, which is sort of what it seems like. So I mean, it was talking about things like apps to have and like phone calls and like being able to make phone calls or whatever and like but yeah, so I think it's like I have to do a better job explaining of like just how from scratch this is and how like yeah. Where I was with comp sci seniors, we had to earn his drive and informed when I was we had to carry. This is what I'm questioning. This is wisdom talking, and you keep saying that this is for yourself, but you sound that you're working on this for your class project in your class. Yeah. Well, that's the thing is that I didn't know it was a group project until like a week and a half ago because I didn't even like really know that like this class. Well, actually, I didn't know that this class had a project because I read like it was never spoken about in class, but I read the syllabus at the beginning of the semester and I saw that we had to do a project, so I started working on this project. But then but then 2 weeks ago was the first time that she mentioned in class that we have a project. And then a week and a half ago, she was like, "Oh yes, and you need to have a partner for everybody has to work in groups of like 2 or 3, so everybody find a partner." And then I was hoping that if I just like, is that like, oh, but I already started this project, so I was hoping if I just like put my head down and didn't find anybody, and like didn't ask anybody to be my partner, then it would just sort of like work out. And um, but then it didn't. So yeah, yeah, because this is for. I mean, I've explained it a couple times. Like what I want to get out of this project because I've always wanted to do this. Like especially like this whole like Linux from scratch thing. Like on my bucket list of like programming accomplishments that I want to do. This was like always on there. But I guess it was just sort of difficult to like yeah, to just have an excuse to do it. So when I saw that this was like an option, I decided to go for it. But yeah, I had I known that this was going to be a group project, I would have had to have done things differently, right? Because I would have either had to have picked a different project, or I just should have started, or I just should have found a partner earlier, Because I started this project like the first week of this semester, so I could have just like that first week I could have asked somebody like, "Hey, do you want to work with me on this?" Like if I knew that I needed a partner, because I didn't know that I needed a partner, so I just thought I'd work on it on my own. And then I've been working on it the whole semester. Now suddenly I have this big code base that I'd had that I found out other people have to work on, which is like fine. And I mean like because there's definitely still things that like there's still a lot of things that like um that need to be done. So it's awesome if like other people are gonna like join in. Prof- Honestly, I don't think the professor is sadistic. I think they just don't want to grade a bunch of projects. You know, like I've noticed this that like this professor isn't particularly lazy, but the lazy professors are the ones that have like big groups for things. Like the worst professors I've ever had, they're always assigned huge groups. Like in my intro comp sci class, there were 8 people per group, and there was like 50 kids in the class or something like that. So there was like whatever, like 5 groups or something like that. And then 8 people were in a group, and then there's like no way to divide that work equally, right? The reason is just that like we had to like write papers and stuff like that too, so the professor didn't want to have to like read that much. You have a group project. Oh wow. What is that? Is that like a thesis or something? That sounds intense. No, but that's different. Like obviously that's a lot different than like a semester thing. And that project sounds like it's supposed to be a big deal. Like I don't actually think this project is supposed to be a big deal. Like this is supposed to be like a more casual like OS project. But I'm the one that's like I'm not blaming anybody like except like myself, cuz like I'm the one that's like doing all this. Also, the other reason that I'm doing this is because this is my last semester and I don't have that many classes. Like, I'm only really taking 2 classes this semester, so I have like heck of free time. That's why I'm able to work on this for like 8 or 9 hours every single day. I've been spending like just on this project. So I've been yeah, I've been spending a lot of time like just working. Hang on a second. I didn't realize how late it was. We're gonna be hacking the ever living fuck out of stuff or lab stuff, but you know, stuff. That's so cool. Yeah, I haven't gotten to do a lot of like fun cybersecurity. I was on the cybersecurity team for my first few years, but then when I got more involved in like physics stuff, I didn't have enough time to be on the cybersecurity team anymore. But all right, I am so exhausted right now, so I'm gonna get off. Sorry if I gave off a bad impression. All right, yeah, sorry about that, guys. Have a good night. Oh wait, we gotta find somebody to raid, right? All right. Who? Gotta find. I'll take suggestions. Yeah, I'm sorry things didn't work too. I'm actually more sorry about like the last couple minutes there. I feel like I gave a very bad impression of. I don't think I showed myself very well. I sound like a jerk. All right. What is this? Open source programming? Ugh, I gotta watch an ad to figure out if this channel's worth watching. I can't believe that I like got that Twitch Prime doesn't have ad free anymore. Oh wait, Viren, do you stream? Oh wait, I didn't know that. Wait, why didn't you tell me? Alright, this guy looks like he's doing something cool. So we're gonna raid this guy right now. But Viren, I'll totally follow you. That's okay, alright, this guy's doing some stuff with emojis, so that's kinda cool. I don't have Discord. What? I think I like technically have a Discord, but like not really. Like I have a Discord account, but I have like two-factor authentication on there, and then like I got a new phone, and then I haven't been able to. Even when I had Discord, I didn't use it that much. Like actually, I used it never. Like I only had it for like one website or something that needed Discord, but now I definitely don't use it anymore since I've been locked out. Yep, Twitch it is. All right. Now I only have one person raiding, so it's gonna be very funny when you spam raid in the chat. Oh, what? Oh my gosh.